again, Chief Master Babin here. Today we're going to talk about the no change. The no change occurs when you attempt to advance in rank and for some reason your performance is not quite up to what it needs to be. So on the testing results sheet, it says next to your name, no change. I believe there must be some apocryphal story of Eternal Grandmaster saying he didn't want to use the word failure because he really felt like the most important thing was that people keep on trying and keep on moving forward down the road. So that's how the term no change came up. And my comments today are with respect to black belts only, although it can happen for color belts as well. So I have a very unique experience with this situation. And it requires a little bit of background. There are some black belt transitions that are really, really, really important. When you earn your first degree black belt, when you earn your fourth degree black belt, and when you earn your sixth degree black belt. These three landmarks in time are really, really important in the history of any black belt. I mean, if you talk to some of these people at these ranks, they will say that those dates and those experiences were as important as the day they got married, the day their first child was born, and things like that. It's really, really a big, big deal. Your first degree black belt. It's the first one. Your fourth degree black belt. That one's important because in the ATA, technically, that's where you begin advanced training as a black belt. Also, you get to wear that black stripe down the leg of the pants. Distinguish yourself one more way in terms of what your uniform looks like. But the big, big one is sixth degree black belt. Because at that point, you get to be considered to earn the title of Master Instructor. So those are the three big milestones in the life of any black belt. And they're probably not the times when you want to receive a no change. But yours truly managed to receive a no change at first degree, fourth degree, and sixth degree. So we'll do three different parts and you'll get to hear the whole story of how I managed to make some mistakes along the way and what the lessons are involved. So right now, let's go right to it and talk about first degree black belt. It was 1979, and I was training in Tucson for about 3 years at this point, a red belt and ready to advance at rank. And we only had testings in Tucson like twice a year because we were a university club that only met like twice a week. And we didn't have anybody planned to come out at this time for a testing. So Mr. Veter, my instructor, suggested that we all go over to San Diego because Master H.U. Lee was going to be at Mr. Hawkins' school, and anybody who needed to test could go there and test. So what the heck? Now, I had met this Master H.U. Lee before and had, it wasn't a new thing for me. I'd gotten a chance to meet him, and I wasn't totally scared by the situation. I was really ready to go, really wanted to get it done. So we hop in our 1972 Toyota Corona with no air conditioning and drive on over to San Diego. And the testing occurs, I guess, on a Saturday afternoon. And there's probably about 30 people there altogether. And I think maybe about 20 people tested. And all the high ranks west of the Mississippi were there, pretty much. From up in Sacramento area, people like Mr. Clinton Robinson, Mr. Jack Pierce, Mr. Mike A.J., people from Southern California like Mr. Chuck Hawkins, Mr. Maurice Orange, Steve and Mark Truscott, all from around the San Diego area. So we had our testing, and I really felt pretty good. I mean, I did my form, I did my board break, I did my sparring, and, I didn't get killed, and I broke my boards. I can't remember what form I did. It may have been Po-On, but I'm just not really sure. This is way before Sa. So I thought things were going pretty well. So we took a little break, and then we had a class. And of course, Master H.U. Lee is teaching the class. And we're up punching and kicking and moving up and down the floor. And he tells us everybody to go to the back and sit down. So we all sit down, and then he calls me up to the front of the room. And I'm going, oh, okay, here we go. So I have a picture of this. So make sure you scroll down and take a look at this picture. And you'll see me standing there, and I'm not even sure I can really do it, but it is the lamest Chumbi stance ever presented. And I got my hands in the wrong place. My feet are spread way out. My knees are bent. I mean, I look pretty funny. And he comes up to me, pointing to me, looking at the people in the class, and he says, you see this black belt? If the wind blows hard, his black belt comes right off. Wow, it was a great moment. So that was all. We didn't do anything. And I went back and sat down, and he dismissed us, and we got in the car and drove back home. Now, at that time, we didn't have any of these belt ceremonies like we have today. Basically, you went home and you waited about 2 weeks for ATA to send back results, and the results came back, and of course, I got a no change. So it was pretty disappointing, and I really had no idea what was going to happen. And I basically, got mad, and I said, well, okay, I'm not quitting. I got to figure out how to pass this. So I worked really hard, and then in April, I think that was in November, in April, Mr. Harkins came over to Tucson from San Diego. We had a testing, and I think I have a couple of pictures of that here of when I actually passed and got my first degree black belt. So there's my first mark. First degree black belt test, no change. Stay tuned for part 2 of the no change. I'm Chief Master Babin. Peace.